My grandmother used to say, chew the meat, spit out the bones. It's really like when people are giving you feedback or telling you something that you don't like entirely, but there's some stuff in there. There's some good stuff that you could use. And I think for our time together for the last 4 days, quietly, I've been thinking, hoping that you just chew the meat of this 5-day racial equity challenge and, spit out the pieces that you just don't think will ever work for you. But hopefully there is more meat than bones. I will tell you though, for day 5, I'm going to ask you to chew the meat and chew the bones. Day 5, we're going to focus on 3 policies that I need you to be willing to die on the hill for. 3 policies that we have got to move forward in these United States. And so for that reason, I'm going to do day 5 in 2 videos. 2 videos. Today, I'm going to focus on my credentials. Sounds crazy and slightly arrogant, but I want you to be super confident, because when I tell you what policies I really want you to vote in support of, to talk up in your community, to make sure that you got all the bumper stickers and the flags in your yard and the signs on your porch around these policies, I want you to be confident that when I'm telling you got to do it, that you see me as credible and authentic and aligned and astute and well-educated and pedigreed and, I don't know, somebody who knows what they're talking about on this stuff. Okay, so I am a labor and employment lawyer by training. I practiced law in South Florida for several years, did labor and employment. And then I spent 18 years in human resources, worked for public sector and private sector, East Coast, West Coast, big companies, small companies, and I've been the chief HR officer for 3 different organizations, learned a lot about how work works. The intricacies of work, I know it really well. And then, departing from law and HR, I worked for the Federal Reserve, and I did that for 7 years. I did macroeconomic policy, monetary theory, y'all, like really heady stuff. Did a lot of focus on the cost of hate. $16 trillion we've lost in GDP just because we can't figure out how to fully embrace the potency of Black and brown people. I got a chance to study that. And when I say study, I mean publish on it too. See that? Published author in economic journals on the cost of inequity, racial wealth gap. I studied it, published. And I've also talked a lot about this stuff, like everywhere. Anybody that give me a microphone? Anybody that will give me a microphone? I really can talk, honestly. Business first. Global conferences. This one's in London. I was quoted in USA Today on the continued cost of racial inequity for our country. I couldn't find the actual article, so I just Googled this. And most recently, Closing Bell, CNBC, talking about that affirmative action case. Okay. All right, so my point is, I'm not just a Black woman who has a lived experience, which is its own learning, to be clear, in these United States, around racial inequity and the urgency of racial equity. This is my lifeblood. I have worked in this space forever and talked about this forever in a number of settings. So it is with that undergirding and underpinning that I bring to you the next video. 3 policies we've got to die on the hill for. Stay tuned.